This is the continuation of Part 7, the Planetary World Trees and Nested Realms. And real quick, I didn't tell you what this was earlier, so you know how I always like to throw these up before so you can take a picture and put it into your AI to tell you what it is. So what this was the math that we did after figuring out how many branches would be on a tree 175,000 miles up, figuring out the amount of worlds that were on there, and then figuring out the amount of bodies or souls that were on each of those realms, if each had 5 million, and then tallying all those up. So the next one I share, you're really going to want to take a picture of. And we're just going to pick up from the end of Part 7. So, and the ancients knew. That's why they spoke of floods, heavens falling, tongues scattered. When the tree fell, the ladder broke. What had been a flowing current of worlds became sealed Russian dolls. The higher branches crystallized into heavens. The lower sank into underworlds. We see them as above and below, but really they are vibrational shells collapsed into density. This is why the shamans glimpse layered heavens, why mystics speak of 9 worlds and 7 heavens, why near-death travelers see tunnels and realms nested one inside another. They are brushing against the sealed orbs, the worlds trapped when the current snapped. And here's the truth they preserved in a symbol. We live in one of those severed crowns. Earth is not a planet in space. It is the basin of a world tree. Its cut top filled with waters. Its scar hardened into the dome. The planets we see are the octave notes of the stump's rings. The stars we see are the scars of the stumps projected into our sky. And the mists of the world trees, they are not legends of fantasy. They are memories of architecture. And they're in every ancient culture everywhere. But it isn't over. The realms aren't gone. They are sealed, waiting. When Sophia's flame rises, when her current reconnects with the Christos, the ladder lights again. The seals fracture, the bubbles open, and the trillions upon trillions of realms, millions of branches, quadrillions of lives rejoin the song of creation. We are seeds growing inside the cut crown of Sophia's tree, walking the bark rings of a severed titan, looking up at the forest of her sisters, mistaken for constellations. The nested realms were once whole, and though their trunks were cut, the memory remains in us, waiting to sprout again. Now let's address everything I've said in the first 7 parts. I know exactly where the pushback comes, so I'll say it now. It's erosion. Erosion doesn't make repeating nodes, caverns, or vitrified walls. Hybrid cuts do. Trees aren't rock. Living tissue mineralizes. Lava tubes are vascular conduits. Quartz veins are crystallized sap. Too big, they'd collapse. Your own models rely on plasma scaffolding to support galaxies. Same principles here. Planets are spheres we photographed. Cymatics makes spheres from vibration. The wandering stars are octave nodes. Constellations are arbitrary. Then explain why every culture mapped the same figures. They were mapping the scars, not guessing. Myth isn't evidence. Myth is memory and symbol. And when Sophia's story matches the stone residue, I don't throw it either away. I reconcile both. So this is the hinge. A backyard stump with saplings, a canyon wall with vitrification, a scar dome billions of miles above, constellations as scars of cosmic forest, planets as octaves, Sophia's tree, Yadabael's parasite, Babel's failure. The outward trees were cut, the inner tree remains. That's the one in your spine, your breath, your heart. When you breathe coherence and speak clean resonance, you build the ladder inside yourself. And when enough of us stand in unity resonance, the overlay breaks. Not by force, but by recognition. Because the force is still here, and the seeds are us. Now let's go back to that previous video where I was talking about the conversation I was having with my brother after I watched this video, and I said, with all of these craters that aren't craters, they're actually reflections or impressions of celestial bodies or stars showing up on the plasma. So I had said that I couldn't figure out what it was, and that I thought that it was either a huge supermassive Earth that we were on, because literally there's an exact crater that you can find that we're at that is reflecting our tree stump. Okay? That's how specific I'm talking. But so I said it was either a supermassive Earth, like gazillion times bigger than we could ever think, or it was a flat plane of existence that went on forever. And the more I kept thinking about that, and I just kept thinking about that, how, it would just have to, all of these, it would just have to go on forever and ever and ever. And I mean, think about this. Think about how big this is. And then I got to thinking, so if we're on a tree stump, where is our tree stump attached to? Is our tree stump floating? Well, we know there's waters around it because everything's painted with it and we see it outside it, right? So, what are the trees, the planetary Earth stumps, what are they attached to? Where are they attached? Where are we? Where are we at? We're going to jump into that in the next one, but I'm not going to tell you anything yet, but I'm going to do it by showing you the essentially the architecture of the universe. I'll probably go ahead and just stop here, but just think about that question. We'll pick up probably tomorrow. I think we're getting pretty close to the end of this series. I'm going to talk about a few things tomorrow. We're going to go back to that fractal picture with a microscope, and how if you just clip a little tiny clip of that picture and look under a microscope, you see the whole picture, right? So, and I keep telling you the fractal nature of everything. Toroidal spheres encompassing toroidal spheres forever. That's how every cell is made. That's how matter is made. That's how it's clusters of toroidal spheres. Anyways, hope you have a great night. Hope you enjoyed this part 7, and we'll jump into part 8 most likely tomorrow. Have a great night. Namaste.